Hello and welcome back once again. It is time for the golden age of DC Comics, 365 days, where I take this well-loved coffee table book given to me about 2 decades ago by one of my best friends. This coffee table book has been surfing my coffee table ever since. And it's a great excuse to talk about comic books for a couple of minutes every day. And I wish to recreate the comic book shop style conversations we used to have back in the day with you today, right now. The golden age of DC Comics runs between 1938 and 1955. The Silver Age between 1955 and 1970. The Bronze Age, I'm a Bronze Age baby, between 1970 and 1985. And there's a Copper Age that begins in 1985. I use this book for its intended purpose. It's a 365 days book. We're going to open up to today's date. We're going to look at some comic book art. We're going to read the blurb, and then we're going to talk about comic books. We're going to talk about comic books every day for the rest of the year. This is an Abrams 2004 publication, curated and written by Chip Kidd, Les Daniels, and Jeff Spear. And there's a link in the description to Amazon where you can get your own copy, between $8 for used and about $20, $25 for a brand new copy. It makes a great gift, I know. I also do something called the Escapism Caveat. Listen, we live in interesting times and where activism is a very important thing. But in recent years, also, activism is starting to invade spaces where it doesn't need to be, and that needs to stay escapism. Seriously, pop culture thrives on our escapism, and it's been kind of abused by the activists who are trying to use our spaces as their platforms for their messages. Activism has its place. It's so needed. Yet, I believe that we need escapism just as much. We need to be able to be a space pirate, or a forest ranger, or fighting robots, or aliens, or pirates, or undersea monsters, or whatever it is, to leave this world's problems behind just for a few moments. And we get that escapism in our art, in our cinema, in our sports, and in our comic books. So, I mean, I'm all for superhero stories being superhero stories. And if it can make us think, then that's a bonus. Really is. And so let's do it. Let's crack this book open and see what's going on today. It's June the 25th, and one of my least favorite DC characters, the O.P. Spectre. This is story by Jerry Siegel, art by Bernard Bailey, from More Fun Comics number 60 of October of 1940. This is the Spectre. Yeah, we've talked about him in the past, and we're probably going to talk about him again. But it's one of my least favorite DC characters. He's OP, which means overpowered. And, yeah, I mean, he's always been kind of a ghoulish character. He gives criminals a macabre ending, something filled with a pathos, but an earned demise because he used to be Detective Jim Corrigan of the Gotham City Police Department, who was murdered and left for and didn't get a proper burial, and his anger prevented him from getting into heaven, and so he was reborn as the Spectre, God's vengeance. Yeah. And so let's read this blurb. The Spectre appeared virtually omnipotent until this story, when he seemed to meet his match and then some. An evil scientist named Zeon acquires the power to control the Spectre and orders him to commit mass murder. And at the last second, the tormented hero experiences the epiphany shown here. He ends up confronting a patch of light and receives the gift of a ring that enables him to defy even Xenon. But it still looks like he's got not a patch on that patch. I have no clue what that means. Perhaps it's one of those antediluvian sayings. Like maybe it's like a tire and you put a patch on another patch when you want to, if you burst your tire and you don't have a spare, and people had to be more resourceful and put patches on their clothes and patches on their tires. And who knows? And yeah, that's what I will say. Good use of color. Good use of we would define that today as trippy, but that kind of definition doesn't come for about 30 more years or so, about 25, 30 more years. But yeah, I would define that as trippy. Yeah. Wonder what they were, what was really in their corn cob pipes, huh? That's a weed joke. And yeah, that's pretty much all we got for today for the Spectre. I mean, yeah, once again, not my favorite character. I don't know why. I mean, I've liked his design as it's simple. The hood. He sometimes has skulls for pupils and his eyes and his otherworldly eyes. It's just and he was a creepy character, and he gave criminals a just punishment, and they were always kind of horror based too. So he's not quite magic based, but he's always kind of been with the mystics like Dr. Fate, and later on like John Constantine, and I'm not too sure if he was ever an ally of Constantine. I don't know if Constantine really does have allies, just friends that he uses and gets killed. Yeah, but thank you so very much for tuning in today. Yeah, we're going to make it a short one. This has been the Golden Age of DC Comics, 365 days, where we're going to talk about comic books every day for the rest of the year. Tune in tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern, U.S., and you'll find out who we're talking about when we turn the page tomorrow. Please like and subscribe. I would love to earn your subscription. We talk about comic books every day. I'm an ordained minister, an amateur theologian. We get spiritual here, talk about gratitude lists, hashtag Lighten Up. It's about enlightenment and how some spirituality can help improve your daily existence. I'm a professional chef. I make cooking videos. There's a playlist called What's Cooking. I hear my soups are very popular. So, yeah, thank you so very much for tuning in today. Namaste, good luck, and we will see you in the funny pages tomorrow. Bye-bye.